You know that feeling when you finally sit down after a long day? Maybe you've got the couch, you've got the blanket, you've even got the show queued up, and then your eyes land on the pile of dishes in the sink? Or the stack of mail on the counter that's been growing its own ecosystem for 2 weeks? You can't enjoy anything. Your body is resting, but your brain is screaming. There's this low-grade static buzzing through your whole nervous system. You're not even thinking about the mess consciously anymore. It's just there, sitting on your chest like a weight you can't name. You tell yourself, just relax, it's not that serious. But your shoulders are up by your ears, you're clenching your jaw, and you're scrolling your phone but absorbing literally nothing. Your eyes are moving, but your brain checked out 3 swipes ago. Then someone walks in and says, "Why are you so tense? Just leave it." And you want to scream. Because it's not about the dishes. It was never about the dishes. And somewhere deep down, you've always known that. You just didn't have the language for it until now. So here's the plot twist that nobody tells you. The reason you can't relax in a messy space has almost nothing to do with being type A or a neat freak or having some kind of control problem. It's not a personality flaw. It's not perfectionism gone rogue. And it is definitely not you being dramatic. It's your nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do. Your brain is reading your physical environment the same way an animal reads the forest floor for danger. And when that environment is cluttered, chaotic, or unpredictable, your brain interprets that as a low-level threat signal. Not a big, loud, obvious threat, more like a constant whisper running underneath everything that says, something here isn't handled, something is unfinished. Stay alert. Spoiler alert, this doesn't make you broken. This makes you incredibly perceptive. You're someone whose brain has an extremely tuned-in environmental awareness system. You're picking up on signals that most people scroll right past. The visual noise, the unfinished tasks that those objects represent, the cognitive weight of "I should really deal with that" piling up in every corner of the room. Your brain catalogs all of it, automatically, without your permission, and honestly, without you even being fully aware that it's happening. And here's what's wild. The people who feel this most intensely tend to be some of the most emotionally intelligent people in the room, because this response isn't random. There's real documented psychology behind why your environment has this much power over your internal state. So let's get into it. First concept, cognitive load theory. Your brain has a limited amount of processing power at any given moment. Think of it like RAM on a computer. Every single object in your visual field takes up a tiny slice of that RAM. A clean, clear counter? Low demand, smooth operation. A counter covered with random stuff, keys, mail, that one bag you keep saying you'll put away tomorrow, your brain is now running 17 background tabs that you never opened. And just like your laptop, when too many tabs are open, everything starts to lag. That's not laziness, that's computational overload. Researchers at the Princeton Neuroscience Institute actually found that physical clutter in your environment competes for your attention and significantly decreases your ability to focus. Your brain isn't choosing to be distracted by the mess. It literally cannot stop processing it. It's involuntary. Second concept is the Zeigarnik Effect. This is a principle discovered in the 1920s by psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik, and it found that our brains are hardwired to fixate on unfinished tasks. We remember unfinished things far more than finished ones. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Every single piece of clutter in your space is essentially an unfinished task made visible. That jacket draped over the chair, your brain reads it as, that needs to be hung up. Those dishes stacked in the sink, those need to be washed. That Amazon box by the door, that needs to be broken down and recycled. Your brain doesn't just see objects, it sees open loops. And open loops demand mental energy to maintain, whether you're consciously aware of them or not. So you're sitting on the couch trying to watch your show and decompress, and meanwhile, your nervous system is running what I like to call a background anxiety program. Dozens and dozens of micro tasks quietly pinging your attention, draining your battery without you lifting a finger. Third concept, and this is the one that really changes the game, is your autonomic nervous system, specifically your relationship between your physical environment and your fight or flight response. Your nervous system doesn't only activate when someone yells at you or when a car swerves into your lane. It also responds to environmental cues, subtle ones. This is called neuroception, a term coined by Dr. Stephen Porges in his polyvagal theory. Neuroception is your body's unconscious surveillance system. It's constantly scanning your surroundings and asking one question: am I safe here? Is this environment predictable? Can I let my guard down here? A tidy, clear space sends a signal to your vagus nerve that says, you're good. You can rest now. Nothing here needs your attention. A chaotic, cluttered space sends the opposite signal. Stay on, stay ready, don't let your guard down. And the cruel irony is, you can't think or willpower your way out of this response, because it's happening below conscious thought. Your body already decided you weren't safe before your mind had even time to form an opinion about the laundry pile. You were activated before you even knew why. Now, here's where we go deeper, because if this were purely a brain science thing, a lot of people could hear all of that and say, okay, cool, I'll just clean more often, problem solved. But some of you, and you know exactly who you are, feel something far bigger than annoyance when your space is messy. You feel unsafe. You feel ashamed. You feel like if anyone walked in and saw the mess, they'd know the truth about you, that you're not really holding it together, that the version of you that the world sees is a performance, and the mess is the proof. And that feeling, that didn't start with your apartment. That feeling started a very, very long time ago. If you grew up in a home where the physical environment was chaotic, where the state of the house was unpredictable, where clutter and disorder were signs that things were falling apart, or where the adults around you couldn't manage the space because they were drowning in their own stress, their own addiction, their own emotional dysregulation, then your brain made a very smart, very early connection. Messy environment equals danger. Disorder in the house equals disorder in the people. And disorder in the people equals I am not safe right now. Maybe you were the kid who started cleaning the kitchen before a parent got home. Not because anyone told you to, but because a clean house meant things might go smoother tonight. Maybe tidying up was how you quietly tried to manage the emotional temperature of your household. Maybe keeping your room spotless was the one single thing that felt like yours. The one domain you could control when absolutely nothing else was controllable. That is not a quirky personality trait. That is a survival adaptation. Your child brain learned a very clear rule. If I can just keep this environment in order, maybe I can keep myself safe. And you carried that program straight into adulthood. It's still running right now, every single day. So now when your apartment gets messy or your kitchen piles up, it's not just visual clutter bothering you. It's an emotional time machine. Your nervous system isn't reacting to today. It's reacting to something from 10, 15, 20 years ago. That tightness in your chest when you see the mess, that's not about the dishes. That's about every single time chaos in your surroundings meant chaos was coming for you. Your body remembers what your conscious mind has tried to move past. And here's what I really need you to hear. That exhaustion you feel, the way you push yourself to clean even when you are completely running on empty because you physically, viscerally cannot rest until it's done, that is not you being rigid. That is not you being too much. That is the echo of a child who had to create their own safe space because no one created one for them. And that child deserves so much compassion right now. Not another lecture about habits, not another productivity hack, not judgment, compassion. You are not broken. You never were. You are just someone whose brain learned very early to survive by staying 10 steps ahead of chaos. And you are allowed, fully, completely allowed, to give yourself grace for that. If this hit home for you, please subscribe. And if you want to support these deep dives, hit that join button to become a channel member. I would genuinely appreciate it.